William Morrow and HarperAudio present A Year of Ravens, a novel of Boudica's Rebellion, by Kate Quinn, Eliza Knight, Russell Whitfield, Vicky Alvear, Ruth Downey, Stephanie Dray, and Simon Turney. Performed by Saskia Maarleveld and Andrew Kingston. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/pages/A Year of Ravens. It contains a character list and map.
Introduction. Ben Kane. The warrior queen Boudica is, for many, one of the standout characters from the ancient world. A woman violated, the leader of a people wronged by Rome, their erstwhile ally, she ignited a rebellion in 1st century AD Britain that saw panic sown the length and breadth of the land, London burned, and tens of thousands of citizens killed. The uprising failed, but its effects reverberated through the empire. Ancient sources tell us that the cataclysmic events almost persuaded the Emperor Nero to abandon Britain, and that punitive operations conducted in the months afterwards were stopped, for fear of causing another tribal backlash. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Boudica's name was lost to history until the late 15th century. Since that time, she has been romanticized somewhat, and identified as a symbol of the small who take on the large, of the wronged who fight evildoers, and as a doomed hero who did what she thought was right, regardless of the consequences. As with the gladiator Spartacus, another historical character who almost brought Rome to its knees, it's likely that Boudica herself had no great guiding ideals, no sense of the divine guiding her actions. She may have been, plain and simple, a strong, charismatic character who wanted revenge for the violent and unjust wrongs done not just to her and her family, but to her people as well. In the past, historians have been known to describe Boudica's rebellion as a war for national independence, with the good British tribes lined up against the bad imperialist Romans. This couldn't be further from the truth. Like their fellow peoples throughout Europe and beyond, the ancient tribes did not think of themselves as a nation. In fact, we don't even know what word they would have used to describe themselves or the island of Britain. Boudica brought together an alliance of peoples who disliked their new masters, the Romans, and together they did their utmost to defeat them. As with all conflicts, past and present, the war between Boudica and the Romans was marked by savagery on both sides. It's impossible for a responsible historical author to write about these events without showing the brutal atrocities committed by the Romans and also by Boudica's army. Intertribal warfare, a common feature of life in ancient Britain, also had to be mentioned. In A Year of Ravens, 7 talented authors have conjured up a powerful and vibrant representation of Boudica. She is seen through the eyes of a fascinating cast of characters, a number of whom are historical and some who are fictional. Each of the novel's 7 parts has been written by a different author and comprises a complete tale. This makes it possible for the listener to move on within the book, should one story not take their fancy. Note that the plot spans from the novel's beginning to its end, weaving together each story, so there's far more enjoyment to be had by listening to the entire book. Writers of historical fiction always have to make decisions that will impact on the reader's and listener's experience. These decisions bear explanation and follow hereafter. For the sake of accessibility and where practical, English words and conventions have been adopted over the Latin. While the Romans did not use weeks to measure time, the authors did so. The rebellion's timeline is not recorded. Ancient sources tell us that it lasted about a year, and so its battles and annexations were fitted into the warmer times of year, when armies were more likely to march. Timelines for the rebellion vary between experts. The authors have...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?